America's silent hunter, the Manta Ray, and the rise of the Ghost Fleet. While the world watches tensions rise in the South China Sea, a quiet arms race is unfolding far below the surface. The United States is no longer trying to outnumber China's Navy, it's trying to outthink it. And the key to that strategy is an unmanned submarine so advanced it may render traditional fleets obsolete. China spent billions building submarines. Then the U.S. changed the rules entirely. The ocean is a place of constant motion, currents shifting, marine life migrating, and unseen forces shaping the world beneath the waves. Yet in one stretch of water there is near-perfect silence. So complete, in fact, that even marine animals mistake the presence there for one of their own. But this is no creature of nature. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Intel Network. Enjoyed this deep dive? Smash subscribe and keep the latest defense tech coming straight to you. We pick up moving with effortless grace through the depths is an artificial Leviathan, an unmanned underwater vehicle built by the United States. From above, it resembles a massive manta ray gliding through the sea. It has no visible propellers, no obvious exhaust, and no mechanical noise. The only hint that it is not alive is a vertical fin rising from its rear, resembling the tail of an aircraft. This is the Manta Ray, a revolutionary underwater drone developed under DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Agency, and it may fundamentally reshape naval warfare in the Pacific. A shape that shouldn't exist. Far below the surface, an enormous silhouette glides through the water. It does not churn propellers. It does not leave cavitation trails. It does not announce itself with the mechanical hum of engines. Instead, it moves like a living thing. From above, the vehicle resembles a colossal manta ray. Broad wings sweeping gently as it cuts through the ocean. Its body is smooth, organic, and eerily natural. Only a single vertical fin rising from the rear betrays its artificial origin, evoking the tail of a stealth aircraft rather than a sea creature. This is no submarine in the traditional sense. This is Manta Ray, an unmanned underwater vehicle developed for the United States Navy under DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Agency, and it represents one of the most dramatic shifts in naval warfare since the invention of the nuclear submarine. Why submarines still rule the world. Submarines are terrifying for one simple reason: you never know where they are. They operate in silence, strike without warning, and vanish into the depths before retaliation is possible. During the Cold War, they formed the backbone of nuclear deterrence. Today, they remain the ultimate tools of stealth, surveillance, and strategic power. Modern submarines can track enemy fleets unseen, disrupt global shipping, launch cruise missiles, and, in the case of ballistic missile submarines, end civilizations. China understands this better than anyone. Over the last 2 decades, Beijing has invested heavily in undersea warfare, rapidly expanding both its diesel-electric and nuclear submarine fleets. The South China Sea has become the focal point of that strategy, a contested region through which nearly 1/3 of global trade passes. But submarines have weaknesses. They are expensive. They require highly trained crews. They demand constant maintenance. And, once detected, they become extremely vulnerable. The Manta Ray was designed to exploit every one of those weaknesses. A predator designed for the deep. The Manta Ray is unlike any submarine that has ever entered service. It is roughly the size of a small fishing vessel, yet it moves with the efficiency of a living organism. Its design borrows directly from nature, specifically the hydrodynamic perfection of manta rays that have evolved over hundreds of millions of years. Silence is its greatest weapon. The same noise reduction technologies that made American submarines legendary during the Cold War have been incorporated into this drone. But unlike manned submarines, the Manta Ray is designed to be expendable. There is no crew to protect, no life support systems, no human limitations. This makes it ideal for the most dangerous missions imaginable, penetrating heavily defended waters, operating close to enemy coastlines, and hunting adversaries where traditional naval vessels would face unacceptable risk. The undead hunter. At this moment, imagine the Manta Ray cruising several knots beneath the surface, relying solely on passive sonar and classified sensor arrays. It is listening, cataloging every sound, every vibration, every acoustic fingerprint in the water. Its target is one of the most elusive threats in modern warfare, a Chinese attack submarine. Above the surface, the U.S. Navy faces a growing problem. The Pacific Ocean is vast, and American surface ships are spread thin across global commitments. Meanwhile, China continues to expand its submarine fleet, threatening shipping lanes, allied ports, and strategic choke points. The solution is not more ships. It is the Ghost Fleet. The Ghost Fleet concept. For years, the United States has quietly invested in a new kind of Navy, one made up of unmanned and semi-autonomous platforms. This Ghost Fleet is projected to include over 100 robotic vessels, surface combatants, missile platforms, reconnaissance ships, and underwater hunters like the Manta Ray. These systems are designed to operate alongside manned fleets or entirely independently, extending American naval reach without extending risk to sailors. And nowhere is this more important than in anti-submarine warfare. Artificial intelligence at war. Inside the Manta Ray, artificial intelligence processes sensor data in real time, comparing what it hears against an enormous library of known acoustic signatures. Chinese submarines, despite their stealth, have unique characteristics, subtle differences in propulsion noise, hull resonance, and onboard systems. Finally, the system finds a match. With no human command, the drone banks silently and accelerates. Even at speed, it produces barely a whisper. The Chinese submarine, meanwhile, is listening for threats of its own, using electronic warfare systems designed to detect enemy drones. But the Manta Ray emits almost nothing. Its AI handles every decision a human crew normally would. It is programmed to engage a target autonomously only if identification confidence exceeds 98%. If there is any uncertainty, the drone will surface briefly, deploy a satellite antenna, and transmit a microburst of encrypted data to orbit, allowing a human operator to decide the next step. This time, there is no doubt. The kill chain. The Manta Ray closes to optimal range. From a concealed weapons bay beneath its body, it releases a torpedo. Seconds later, the weapon activates, racing toward its target. Only now does the ocean erupt with sound. Active sonar floods the water. The Chinese submarine detects the threat instantly and realizes how close it already is. Countermeasures are deployed, noisemakers designed to lure the torpedo away with false acoustic signatures. But the drone anticipates this. Still linked to the torpedo by a fiber-optic cable, the Manta Ray identifies the sudden spike in noise as deception and corrects the weapon's course in real time. There is no escape. The Chinese captain orders an emergency surfacing, hoping proximity to the surface might save some of the crew. but the outcome is already sealed. A glimpse of future warfare. This scenario is hypothetical, but not far-fetched. As tensions rise in the Indo-Pacific, the United States faces a strategic dilemma. China's navy now outnumbers America's, and Beijing continues to assert control over disputed waters in the South China Sea, often through intimidation, coercion, and dangerous encounters with neighboring nations. Vietnam has aligned more closely with the U.S. Filipino sailors have been injured during resupply missions. Australian divers have been harmed by aggressive sonar use. Add Taiwan to the equation, and the risk of open conflict becomes increasingly real. Why the Manta Ray matters. The U.S. Navy cannot simply outbuild China ship for ship. America has global responsibilities and limited resources. Instead, it must outthink its rival. That is where the Manta Ray excels. Developed by Northrop Grumman after DARPA awarded contracts in 2020, the drone represents a new class of undersea warfare. It is modular, meaning it can be transported in pieces by truck, ship, or aircraft, then assembled near its deployment zone, saving time, cost, and port space. More importantly, it is fully autonomous. The Navy does not want drones that add to sailors' workload. The Manta Ray is designed to operate independently for extreme durations, coordinating with other platforms while requiring minimal human oversight. Energy without limits. Perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of the Manta Ray is how it powers itself. Traditional underwater drones require tethering, refueling ships, or frequent resurfacing, logistical nightmares in wartime. The Manta Ray eliminates this problem entirely. DARPA has explored multiple energy harvesting methods, harnessing ocean currents via turbine-like systems, generating power from salinity differences between freshwater and seawater, using thermal gradients between warm surface water and colder depths. In addition, the Navy is developing underwater charging stations anchored to the seafloor. These stations could recharge entire fleets of drones using renewable ocean energy, allowing unmanned systems to operate for months or even years without returning to port. Communicating from the abyss. Underwater communication is notoriously difficult. Radio waves do not travel far through salt water, and very low-frequency transmissions offer limited bandwidth. The solution? Data bubbles. Developed by Northrop Grumman, these small devices are expelled from the drone or charging station. They float to the surface and transmit collected data via satellite without revealing the drone's position. The Manta Ray itself never needs to surface. China's growing problem. China is rapidly expanding its submarine fleet, including diesel-electric and nuclear-powered vessels. Satellite imagery confirms new construction, and Beijing's strategy relies heavily on undersea dominance, especially in the South China Sea. But traditional submarines have weaknesses. They require crews, they need maintenance, they generate noise and heat, and they must surface. The Manta Ray does none of these. Electric propulsion produces almost no acoustic signature. There is no periscope, no crew, and no need to surface. Even advanced patrol aircraft, sonobuoys, and magnetic anomaly detectors struggle to detect it. In short, China is investing billions in yesterday's technology, while the U.S. is building tomorrow's.
Autonomy with restraint. Despite its capabilities, the Manta Ray is not a rogue killer machine. DARPA and the U.S. Navy designed strict engagement protocols. The AI is authorized to take direct action only when target identification exceeds an extremely high confidence threshold, reported to be above 98%. If uncertainty exists, the drone does not attack. Instead, it ascends quietly and deploys a satellite antenna or releases a data bubble, transmitting encrypted information to U.S. command centers. Human decision-makers remain in the loop where lethal force is concerned. This balance between autonomy and control is critical and intentional.
Conclusion. The Manta Ray is more than just another military platform. It is a signal that naval warfare has entered a new era. Beneath the surface of the world's oceans, a quiet revolution is taking shape, one driven not by bigger fleets or larger crews, but by autonomy, artificial intelligence, and machines designed to endure where humans cannot. As rival nations race to expand their submarine forces, the United States is redefining the contest altogether, shifting the balance from numbers to intelligence, persistence, and precision. In the vast and unforgiving depths of the Pacific, where silence is power and detection can mean destruction, systems like the Manta Ray offer the U.S. Navy a way to see without being seen, to listen without revealing its presence, and to act without placing sailors in harm's way. Whether used to track adversaries, protect vital sea lanes, or deter aggression before it escalates into open conflict, this new generation of autonomous undersea hunters could become the backbone of future maritime security. If tensions in the Indo-Pacific continue to rise, the battles that decide the outcome may never be visible to the world above. They will unfold in the darkness below the waves, where fleets of intelligent machines patrol endlessly, harvesting energy from the ocean itself and waiting in perfect silence. And in that silent domain, the Manta Ray may prove to be the difference between deterrence and disaster, between stability and war.
Want more content like this? Hit that subscribe button and become part of our growing aviation and defense community.